Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at product of array except self. What we're going to do in this problem is we're going to get an array of numbers, and what we'll have to do is to return that same array, but with the product of each element except the element itself. So for example, if we have 1, we want to return in the index 0 2 times 3 times 4, which is 24. In the first index, or index 1, we want to return 1 times 3 times 4, which is 12. In the second index, where the 3 is, we want to return 8 because 1 times 2 times 4 is 8, and lastly 6. With this example, essentially because everything will be multiplied by 0, everything except the number where the 0 is at will be 0. Obviously except this one, because you have negative 1 times 1, that's negative 1, times negative 3, that's positive 3, times 3, that's 9. Hence you got 0, 0, 9, 0, 0. So what I'm going to do next is explain how we can solve this without using division, right? Because we cannot use division. And by that, we obviously cannot use multiplication by fractions to make a neat trick or whatever. You're not supposed to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and explain how can we solve this in an efficient way. So what I have here is one of the examples, and we're going to go with the easy one because it's easier to grasp the theory behind this. So we have these numbers right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we want to do is the following. Essentially, we want to get the products of that number before and after. So we want to get the prefix value and the postfix value. So for example, if we want to get all the values before the 2 and after the 2, that would be 3 times 4, that's 12. And then we want to get the 1, which essentially is just 12, right? Because 1 times 12 is just 12. So in this position, we would put a 12. If we would do the same with, say, the 3 in this case, we want to get everything before the 3 and everything after the 3. So that would be 2 times 1, which is just 2, and then 4. So 2 times 4 would be 8, right? So just to put a reminder here, the final answer, as you saw in the example, is the following. For the 1 is 24. For the 2 is 12, right? Because 3 times 4 times 1 is 12. For the 3 is 8 because 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 4 is 8. And for the 4 would be 6 because 1 times 2 is 2, times 3 is 6. But so how can we do this? And by the way, we're going to be thinking about this programming wise. So we're going to first go ahead and do one pass from left to right, calculating all the prefix. So I'm going to put here prefix. And what I'm going to do is upon the array nums, so actually let me do that in the blue color so we don't confuse this, nums, so that's the array nums, right? So we're going to do the first pass, calculating the prefix. So what we're going to do here, the prefix, do we have any number before the 1? We don't. So we're just going to put a 1 because whatever number we have times 1 will be that same number. Now, do we have any number before the 2? We do, which is the 1. So I'm going to put the 1 here. Now, do we have any number before the 3? We do, which is 2 times 1. Those are the products of all the numbers before the 3, right? So 2 times 1, which is just 2. And then do we have any numbers before the 4? Yes, we have the product of 1 times 2 times 3, which that is just 6. Now we're going to be doing the same, but we're going to do a pass from right to left, and that will be the postfix. So I'm actually going to put it here on the right, postfix. And we're going to be looking at this array. We're not going to be looking at this. This is just a result. We will be using this to change our result, right? But we're not going to be using this for the carries, and you'll see what I mean right now. So we're actually going to be paying attention to these numbers right here in order to calculate the postfix, because that's what we want to calculate, the original array, not the the prefix that we have right now. And you'll see right now. So for example, do we have any number after the 4? We don't. So we're going to put a 1 because whatever number we have times 1 will be that same number. Do we have any number before the 3? Which we do. And that is just the 4. Do we have any number before the 2? We do, which is 3 times 4, and that is 12. And do we have any number before the 1? We do, which is 2 times 3, which is 6, times 4, that's 24. And look at this property right now. We can actually easily calculate the final answer doing 6 times 1, which is just 6, 2 times 4, which is 8, 1 times 12, which is just 12, and 1 times 24, which is just 24. And that gives us the final answer. And you can check this with any other numbers, but this is how we calculate the algorithm. So this is the theory. Now that you understand the theory, we're going to do something very similar in coding. But hopefully you understand doing, you know, a for loop from left to right and then another for loop from right to left, because that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and code this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is create my array for the result. And I'm also going to create a variable. I'm going to declare a variable called carry, which is going to have the 1. And I'm going to do my first for loop, let I equal 0 as long as I is less than nums.length I++, very standard. And what I'm going to do is assign res I equal to carry, which in this case, the first one is 1. Why? Because anything, and by the way, so this is the original, nums equals 1, 2, 3, 4, using the first example, of course, but just so you guys can visualize this. So is there anything before the 1, right? There's nothing, so we're going to put 1, which is why carry in this case is 1, and we're assigning in the 0th index the value of 1. Now what we're going to do is update carry, multiplying itself by nums I, which is in this case happens to be 1, but it'll work for any other numbers. Next time it'll be 2, next time it'll be 6. And that will be, you know, what we did on the iPad for the prefix. So now that we have all that, we're gonna go ahead and calculate the postfix, which by the way, I need to reassign carry to 1 for this to work. Now this will be the postfix. I'm gonna do the following, but I mean the same thing, but now from right to left. So let I equals nums, and you can do nums or res, it doesn't really matter in this case. Length nums.length minus 1, as long as I is bigger or equal than 0, I minus minus. And I'm gonna be doing the following. I want to say that res I, now since we want to update, we don't want to reassign, right? So in this case, remember that we have for the prefix, we should have res equals 1, 1, 2, 6. So we don't want to reassign the 6 to 1, right? We don't want to reassign this to 1. We want to, in the case that there's, well, in this case, we're just multiplying it by 1 because there's nothing after the 4. So we'll just multiply it by itself and, or we'll multiply itself by carry. But we will change carry, and remember, we'll be changing carry by nums I. So that's how we would be getting res. I'm gonna put here postfix, or actually I'm gonna put res down here. Res, which would be, I'll do it backwards so you guys can follow. The 6 would stay the same. Then it would be 2 times 4, right? Because we're looking at this. What's after the 3, which is a 4. Then what's after the 2, which is 3 times 4, that would be 12. And then what's after the what's after all of this, which would be 2 times 3 times 4, which is 24. So that should give us that. And this is how we calculate it. Again, we all explained it. You guys saw this on the iPad, so hopefully you're following along. And we should be getting the right answer. And there you go. Was accepted 191 milliseconds. So if you guys like this video, please give a like and subscribe. And also, by the way, so here at arturocode.com, so let me see if I can write it here where the font is a little bit bigger. So if you go to arturocode.com, I will be posting solutions both in Python and JavaScript about the problems that I'm posting here on YouTube. I still have a lot to do. I want to put like a filter by languages, and I want to put a search bar so you guys can look for the specific problem. But anyway, I'll be adding more to this day by day, so just keep checking this website in case you guys are curious. So nothing, that'll be all. Give it a like and subscribe again, and I'll see you guys on the next video.